Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Kenneth Davis. I am from Savannah, Georgia. I am your native guy. And we just wanted to talk about something. I had a conversation, and I think that it would be awesome that we create a conversation in addition to just to get something going that what we do. So my light broke tonight. So the studio light, it broke. So we're getting another one. So we ordered one and now we're ready to get started. The conversation that came up today was Black Lives Matter. And we were talking about what is the what was the real what is one why is somebody everyone so offended by it. And my basic thing was Black Lives Matter. That is our whole life as being African Americans, that we suffer so much, and we also inflict so much to one another, and it's acceptable. And what we have to do, we now have to change our entire trajectory of how we see ourselves and how we treat one another, because as we are seeing, it is a travesty of seeing how we are discriminated against in the workplace, discriminated against in the world. We see wherever we go, we are discriminated against, but there are also some opportunities that we can present to ourselves, that we can make some amazing changes. We thank you for showing up tonight. We want to have a conversation. So if you have a question at talking about some of our topics, or you have a question that you would like to just say, just post it, and we can address our what we think, what how what your statement is. Now, today, one of the topics we were talking about is we create our world. We create our world as what we see it. There is a system that is in place, and that we do notice that it is in place. And sometimes it is not beneficial to our people of color, and we are mainly disrespected, disgraced, discriminated against, vilified, humiliated in the workplace and at homes. So, as people, we need to make some changes. So we have to say how we're going to how we're going to create the world that we see today. How are we going to be seen in this world today? How are we going to create a safety and a safe haven for us and our children and our grandchildren, our great grandchildren, in which we have that are operation. So it is so important that we have to maintain our status, and that means our stance of we were a people that our culture created us to be a culture of strength, knowledge. We had peace, in addition to education. So we have to create how we're going to let our world, how we're going to be seen in this world. Have so many creative gifts, the money making ideas, creative aspects, and creative insight. So we have to use how we are going to be seen in the world today. We don't want to be seen as the underdog or something less than something great, because our comparison is incomparable. Another topic that we talked about is you are the game changer. When we go onto the job, I recently had an experience that when we go onto the job, we are perceived to be one way, and we're actually another way. So the perception of the person of me really was different than who my actual personality is. I'm very professional, and that's what we remain. We remain professional. I don't like to be personal, because when it's time to do things, I think a personal change is a personal perception of you sometimes clog the actual intention or the validity of the words in which you have to speak to them. So I try not to be so intimate, but it allowed me to be the changer, because when something go on, I can be the one that bring wisdom. So as we come to the table, we bring wisdom, we bring knowledge, and we bring understanding of what we do. Another topic we talked about is we create what we're doing now. And this was a great question. That is a great question. We create what we are doing now. We have to use our creative resources that we have, and we want to take and impact our world because it is important that we use all of these sources, all of this knowledge, all of this access that we have now in this world. We have access where we used to be discriminated against, but now we have social media, and social media can get us over the world and get information out, make things go viral very quickly. And that's our goal, is to get our word out, to change how we are seen in the world, how we are developing, how we are growing. So we're going to begin to answer questions, and we'll answer questions. Our first question comes from Lorraine Dickinson Edwards, that the oppressor knows that our lives matters. They want us to know that our lives matter. We often hear about blacks on black crime, but there is not white on white crime also. And we then to know that this is incorrect. This isn't this is a very incorrect statement. There's white on white crime the same way that it's black on black crime. Sometimes it's how it is presented, how it is promoted, and how it is seen. So when we create our atmosphere, you know, how what the crime is, it is because we do more things to one another as far as to harm one another, to have a movement, because we are, does crime happen in every community? Yeah, but it's a perception. We know that systematic racism exists. We know that all type of techniques, all type of trauma exists. We know that mental health exists, but sometimes so many things are diminished that we don't take that opportunity to say, okay, I am the game changer. Okay, how can I go in and what change can I make? When I get to the table, what type of decisions will I be able to make that I can make my world today function better? So I'd love to be at the table, because when I come to the table, I'm all about change. If I can't make a change where I am, I really don't kind of deal, more or less. Um, Black on black, Black Lives Matter. And I was wondering, and we had this conversation because we really are talking at a conversation. We're having a conversation tonight. And one of the things that I stated, and I still will always think, most of the time, the people that are offended by the Black Lives Matter are people that have um, wanting to cause some type of sanctioning of their statements, or wants it to go away. But if you haven't discriminated against anybody, or you haven't done that to a black person, we're not talking to you. If you don't have any power to make any changes, if you haven't done anything wrong, we're not talking to you. Everything deal with Black Lives Matter is not only dealing with what has been happened um, to our black people. And as far as killing, we are even talking about discrimination in the workplace, discrimination wherever we go, still not being able to get in where you can get different mortgage rate, you can get approvals. Even when we go to purchase a car, I worked in the industry. I worked in the automobile industry, and one of the owners of the car dealerships that I dealt with, that I worked at, they it was discriminatory. There are discriminatory practices in place. So when you find out who it is and what they're doing, there were liberties, certain liberties that were provided to non-black people that weren't provided for black people. So yeah, so when they found out that what color they were or whatever, they discrimination began to take a place. But when you identify who you are and comfortable with who you are, those things are become small. Now remember, we're having a conversation between yourself and myself. So if you have any questions that you would like to list, or just to have it to say, I'm hello, I'm from so and whatever you want to say, within reason about that has something to say about the conversation. To me, as being an African American, especially during my generation, I'm in the 50 plus generation, so I came in between two generations, uh, and I have seen the digression of African American people in our community go down so greatly since I was a child. We do reality TV is not reality. It's not our reality, and if it is reality, it's taken to another level. So what we don't have sometimes is we don't have that positive at role model. Now we can say we don't have that positive African American role model or Asian American. Sometimes we're lacking that person that pours into us, that says those amazing things that look like us, that come from our neighborhoods, that have the same life experience that we have. So as we go on, we have to remember we are the change. I spoke with someone and I had opportunity to sit on a very, very big board and just temporarily. And I said, when I sit to the table, I bring my family with me. I bring the people that have poured into me and have allowed me just to be me. So what happens now? As I don't sit to the table any longer, I began to remember the change in which I promised that I would do. How am I going to move forward with change? There is a way that you can move on with change without tearing something up. There is a proactive way that you can do that, and that is remaining calm. Remember, a dead dog can't bark. So, does anyone have any questions? Do we have any statements they would like to give? Any questions? Any questions? I am a advocate about Black Lives Matter or Our Lives Matter. Is where is our legacy? We have stopped telling children, and everyone really don't know some of the same stories of Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, all of our patriots, then we have even local people that have worked tirelessly towards the civil rights struggle, and they don't know them, or they don't know anything about them, or just know them as far as for what have been told, and not had opportunity to see, to go on a tour, to really see, look that person up and do research on them. And you'll see the awesome impact that they have made in the lives of our city and in the lives of its people. So, do we have any more questions tonight? Thank you, Ms. Dickinson, Ms. Edwards, excuse me. Thank you for your support. But we are the biggest oppressors. And this, the slaves and everyone outnumbered everyone else. There were more slaves than masters. So remember, whenever you are empowered, you are empowered. Whenever you're going to move forward, move forward. So, everyone, good night. Thank you for watching. Make sure you're liking and sharing this video. Also, subscribe via excuse me, Facebook. Subscribe in addition to on YouTube. So, thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.